Good evening, welcome everybody to the last race of the year for ERL. It's Cooking Tears round 8 in Brazil. Back to a normal race. We had the mandatory two-stopper last Monday and last Wednesday. Now back to a normal race where tire strategy is completely up to the driver themselves. No sprint race, no 100% race, so just a normal race in Brazil for as far as a normal race can be. As Brazil, obviously, also always a very tricky track. Waiting for everybody to load in, and then we get qualifying on the way. There we go. It seems to be a dry qualifying so far. Just a few clouds in the sky, but nothing that is aiming towards rain during the season, or during the session, I should say. Let's get all the details up that we need. While we wait for the first driver to leave the track while they pick their setup. As it's taking a bit longer, I'm guessing there could be some rain in the race, and they're all trying to figure out what is the best strategy for their setup. If anybody could let me know either in the YouTube responses or in the Discord, so I know what's going on as well, that'd be appreciated. Just waiting for the first car, and we have it, and I think it's the William of Airman. So Airman, the tier coordinator, cooking tier, the first one to leave the pit. And that's the straight coming up towards turn 4. Bit of a lock up there. Something shattered there. Was it a braking board or a commercial board or something like that? Fast uphill, turn 6. Obviously still his warm-up lap, using a bit of ERS to warm up his tires. And then this tricky mid-section of the lap here. Now recharges his battery and coming up to the last proper corner to start up his lap. A bit of a lockup going in there as well, easily done of course around this track. Especially if you're not using anti-lock brakes like Ammon. So ERS is being deployed, DRS is on, over start finish he goes, and into turn 1 uses a lot of road there. Bit wide on the apex, keeps it nice and stable through turn 2 and 3. Very easy to lose the car there. Rides the curb a bit. The Alpine needs to stay out of the way, and he does. The DRS is open for Airman, obviously with a purple first sector. He's the first one to set the time. And on his way to turn 6 and 7, where it's very easy to lose the car as the track bends away from you, basically going up the hill there. Another off-camber corner here. Some traffic coming up. I wonder if that's gonna cause him some issues. They might be just too far. Yeah, the Aston Martin moves out the way nicely. And that's the last proper turn now for the run towards the start-finish line. To set the time, that's going to be the one to beat for now. And what is it going to be? It's a 108.3, it's a decent time. I think Stein was behind him. Let's see what he can do. Opens his DRS, and it will be a 108.3, very close to Ammon. And now Perez coming over the line as well. What can he do? 108.8, so not a great time by him. He's not going to be too happy with that. And who's next? It's Seward finish with a 108.9. It's Brian with a 109.2 there in 5th place. One of the reserve drivers from Monday helping out here today. Who's the Merc? It's Cavolis. He puts it into 3rd place with a 108.7. It's a decent time. Is it the Ferrari of FCT? Yes, a 1:10.2, definitely a banker lap there. And who's coming up next? There we go, it's Stewart, another reserve driver from Monday with a 1:09.0. So far the provisional pole time by Am, as I say it, BNS Gang has to prove me wrong, putting a 1:7.8 on the line. So a lot faster than Am in there. And as he spins out, trying to get out of the way for an Aston Martin. Let's see who's next. Another Haas coming over the line. No, that's going into the pit. Let's follow Danny. He's a quick driver as well. Nuno Pinto, good to have you back. Welcome back in the commentators responses here. Let's see what Danny can do. Bit of a lock up there seemed to cause him a bit of understeer going into the corner. Through the middle section, he's got an Aston Martin in front who I think is on a hot lap as well. Is it Ralphie? Yeah, it's Ralphie. Could hinder him a little bit, but I think he's just getting a distant tow from that. So could actually help him slightly as he now opens his DRS for his run towards the line. Stay close to the pit, a bit too close actually. I think there was a slight tap. Putting a 1:08.0 on the board. Slightly quicker than Am, and I've missed that, but he likes to do a double lap, and he done so as well and improved. And Vigo just missed it, but he put a 1:07.7. Thanks for the update, Nuno. I can't quite say that on stream, but last week somebody made it very difficult for himself by having some toiletry issues, shall we say, and none of that today. We see Ports, by the way, retired, and that's because he had a qualifying ban as he ghosted us a bit, unfortunately, last week. But we're looking at Strikey now, another very fast driver. Vostok just done the same thing. Don't quite know why he's got the qualifying ban, but he retired as well. But yeah, back to Strikey, another fast driver. Definitely in contention here normally for pole position. Let's see what he can do. You can kind of ignore the purple sector times, as if you set the first lap, it will always say it's a purple time. But nevertheless, I do expect Strikey to be putting a decent time on the board here. Could be a banker lap he's setting first. But let's see what it's going to be if he's going to be close to Vigo here in his McLaren. Staying very close to the pit lane there, and it's a 1:08.2. I'm sure he can go faster. I'm sure he knows that as well. And let's see what Josko's doing. 17.6 it says through the first sector, so let's see what it will be once he comes over the line. All good so far, no real issues it looks for Josko during his lap. Nicely hooked up there, using all the available space on the track. DRS wide open, takes a little bit more room towards the pit lane, and a 1:08.0 as well, together with two other drivers, puts him in P5 for now. And next up to set a lap, I think, is Neil. bit late with his DRS possibly. But a 108.3, not a bad time for him, puts him in P8. And now look for this Mercedes, it's Cavolis, who's just starting a lap now it seems. Nuno is predicting a pole time of 107.495. That's very specific. Let's see if the guys are going to deliver on that. Let's see who else is on the lap. Perez here, let's follow him for a little bit as he's close to a full lap. But what we can show you, 3 tenths faster in sector 1, so that would be a 108.5, and he invalidates. So off to the next one we go. Stewart, who's about to cross the line, invalid as well actually, so that's no use. Neil is finishing a lap. Stewart finish, what's he doing? Outside my view, I think, was it Stein putting a 107.9 on the board there, or was that already there? I think that's a new lap time by him. And see it finish just over a bend faster, and a bit of a moment there. Keeps it valid, but I doubt this will be a faster lap, and it wouldn't surprise me if he goes into the pit. No, he's gonna finish it, still got something left in it, or is he gonna do a second run? No, it cost him a lot of time there. Ammon, he's on a lap as well, about to finish the second sector. Let's see what he's gonna do. Just under a tenth faster, saying he's got the fastest second sector of all. This is now accurate information as far as I know. Giving a big slipstream to the Ferrari behind, which I think might be FCT. And he puts it in third with a 1.7.9. And it was FCT, who's improved by just over a tenth as well, in P9 for now. Let's see, there were some responses in the chat. Nuno was saying he thinks Vigo can stay in and save tyres for the race. You might think so, but he's not convinced, and he's getting close to your predicted pole time. Puts a 1.7505 on the board. Is there anybody that can improve on that and take a pole away from him? Let's see what BNS Gang is doing. He's improving by just over a tenth, it says, and he invalidates as he gets too close to the pit. Would have improved by 2 tenths with a 1.076, so would have been very close for second place there, but not quite snatching the pole position of Vigo. That would have been. Let's see if Danny can do it, and no, he is not faster after all. See it finish faster but invalidated. Brian, he's not on a lap, he's weaving like mad. What can Stewart do? Might have just finished a lap, or is he doing a double out lap, as he's still got quite a lot of ERS. He seems to be pushing. Let's follow Stewart, see what he can do. And actually, let's follow him on board as well. Nearly 2 tenths faster. So far, good first sector. Not sure if the sound of the braking and accelerating is quite correct here. 7 tenths faster, so good lap so far by Stewart, and he doesn't really screw this corner up either, so he should be on for a 108.3, so let's predict P9 for him. Let's see if he can do that. And it's P8 even, improves a bit more and gets a 108.1 on the board. Good time by Stewart, and then puts it in the wall. Good thing the lap was over. Let's let's see what Brian is improving a little bit. I know Brian loves the track over here. I did say I might do a commentator's curse on him, but let's see if he can break that and just puts an awesome lap on the board here. Two and a half tenths up on his time. Purple second sector, I think if you're in the bottom 10, that means that's the purple sector then for the bottom 10 that you're in. Nevertheless, should give him a good improvement. 1082 moves him up to P10 with a 3/10 improvement. Here we go. He's on the outlap, so we go to Ralphie. He doesn't seem to be improving at all. So is he coming in? Yeah, he's coming in. ST in the pit. Neil is on the lap. Let's watch him. Might have some traffic here. Not a Red Bull, but the car in front, which I think is the V-Carb. And Nuno, I think you're engineering for one of the drivers. If you could let me know what the weather prediction is for the race, if you know, be much appreciated. Is this V? Yeah, the V-Cup gets out of the way nicely where it matters, where the track becomes very tight. That's what the yellow flags are for. Cars moving out of the way, 4 cars on a hot lap. And Neil's improving by just under 2.5 tenths. That should bring him right around Stewart. Let's see if he can improve some more, move up a little bit more, or if he lost something. And it's a 108.2 in P10, so he lost a little bit on the last corner exit there. Getting close to the, well, these are going to be the last runs for the drivers now, as only just over a minute on the clock. And let's see what Josko can do, improving by just over a tenth. And top 3 just on their outlaps as well, so all of them are going to try and improve. Vigo is going to defend that provisional pole, as Strikey is within a tenth of his time, and being Skang, we know he could get there as well. Also put a 107.6 on the board, but unfortunately invalidated, so that time does not count. But for now, let's see what Josko can do. 3/10 improvement, so that would bring him up to a 107.7. Was this last corner good enough to gain a little bit more time? Possibly push for provisional pole as well, or will it have to settle for P3 or 4? It's a P3 so far with a 107.7, and Brian has retired, possibly in the pits, I'm not sure. And Ammon coming over the line very shortly now, 10th up on his time. Will he gain some more? Possibly won't be enough for Paul, but he goes up 1 spot to a P4 with a 107.8. And Stein has invalidated, so that's his chance for Paul over. See it finish, slightly improving, but let's go to Vigo. He's coming over the line very shortly. Is he improving? And he does with a 107.3. What a massive time. What can Strikey do? 107.4 improves, but not enough for Paul. Josko, he's on a cooldown lap. Ammon is as well. Stein is going into the pit. See what finishes pushing, it seems. Let's see what he can do. Needs to be a massive improvement to get to pole position from where he is at the moment. And he's not improving at all. Valve seems to be, he's the last one then. And let's see what he can do. Improves his time, but not his position, stays in P14, and that will be our starting grid then. Ammon goes in, and that should then finish the quali. So Vigo starting on pole, 10th in the bit to P2, massive time from him. Strikey with a 107.4 in P2, Venus Gang in P3, Josko P4, Ammon only 600ths of a second behind Josko in P5, and then Stein in 6th, and very close margins there as well to Danny in P7. We were there at Danny, then Stewart, and that's our first Monday driver reserving here. He's in P8, very good time by him, and close to him is Perez in P9. Stewart finished shortly after that in P10, Neil then in P11, Brian P12, FCT 13th, Ralphie 14th, Cavolis 15th, and then our qualifying bands for Vosdok and Ports in 16 and 17. Nuno thinks as a prediction that Strikey will have the fastest race pace and Viggo will fight for the win as well. Well, given Viggo has the pole time, that should definitely help him out. Josko is very calm and consistent. Let's see what they bring to the race. It does seem to be dry for now. This is where the drivers will see if, and if so, where the rain will fall. Again, if anybody can let me know so I know what's going on and can understand why people pit at certain times. Full dry race, says Nuno. Alright, that's good to know, thank you. So short lap here, so lots of laps, which means lots of opportunity to score some track limit penalties, and that will also be of importance today for winning the race. If you can keep it clean, color between the lines, then that should help gain you a few positions as well. And it's going to be, I think it's 36 laps here from the top of my head. Just waiting for the drives. There we go. They've picked their strategies. We've got 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And away we go. The race is on the way, and indeed 36 laps. Good start there from Viggo, but Strikey coming up on the inside as well, forcing Viggo to go a little bit wide, but Viggo keeps the lead. 2 cars going wide in the back, and we got a Ferrari that's spun, and it's Danny. And that's a shame for him. Tough start for him. Let's see if he can come back, but it's a difficult track to overtake. The DRS is going to be very important here on the 2 occasions where we have it. And that's where we can expect to see our overtaking as well, because in these narrow corners it's going to be very tricky to get a move done. And we got another spinner, and it's Ports, and he did say this could possibly happen. He hasn't had a lot of time to practice lately. Viggo still in the lead, and Strikey in P2, Venus Gang in 3. All seems to be fairly alright. I think Perez has got the overtake done on Neil. Let's see what else we've had. Neil did gain 2 positions as well. Ammon lost 1 to Stein. Biggest loser for now is Danny. Let's see if he can make something up. And let's go to tires. So we got 3 cars going for an alternative strategy. 1 on the hard, that's Ports, and Danny and Neil on the soft. The rest starts with mediums. Let's get the tire data out the way again for now. And here's the strategies. It says then medium to hard for the medium runners, and soft, medium, medium it says. Not sure if soft, medium, medium is going to be used, as the pit lane here is quite lengthy. Quite a tricky one as well, especially the pit entry I always struggle with. Yeah. A few changes of fastest lap there, but eventually it's Stein so far with the fastest lap. And that's the group 5 running away a little bit from the rest of the grid. Amin in P6 being challenged by Perez. Is Perez going to have the overtake? He's got the DRS and he's got it done before the corner already. So Perez up another spot into P6. And can he now challenge to get back towards the front 5 to make it the front 6 runners? Used a lot of his ERS there by the looks of it. Will that hamper him on the next straight, or will he be able to recharge enough to defend from Amin? But he also needs to think of driving towards the front 5, get into that DRS, because that will help him as well in his defense against Amin. Amin dropped back a little bit then, and now possibly under pressure from Stewart as well, but obviously that will be another DRS train, and that DRS train goes all the way now from Perez basically to Denny, the only driver outside of that DRS train. Just FCT now dropping out of it, and then Ports as well. Perez not quite getting closer towards the guys in front. Amin overtaking him again on the same DRS straight. And as long as they keep doing it like this, they will help each other out and see if they can help each other out moving towards the front of the pack. But at the same time, Stewart is lurking around Perez as well. As Perez goes a bit wide, Stewart had a little look, but doesn't quite get the move done. And that's P7 so far for Perez. Up front, Vigo, Strikey, BNS, they're all still running in the same order as they were since the opening laps. Seems like they're just being sensible, dragging each other along, and get the fight later on in the race. Save the tyres now to make the strategy work. Amin came in a little bit closer, but dropping back a little bit from them again now. Let's see if Perez can do a reversal. Stewart already getting a 3-second time penalty. As I said, it's going to be very challenging around here. It's very demanding track for track limits. Perez not getting the move done, but I think we've got Neil and FCT fighting. And that's FCT taking the position from Neil away at the very last minute into turn 4 with the help of the DRS. Great move by him, and Neil out of position slightly and being overtaken by Seward. Finish gets a slight tap from Ralphie behind, and there's front wing damage for Neil. Nothing for Ralphie. I think that's it. Brian with a 3-second time penalty as well for track limit. So that's our next victim on the track limit list. Strikey close, and he gets the move done as well. Only just able to get that nice move by him into turn 1 with the DRS. And will Vigo be able to strike back here on the second DRS? He has a look, has the DRS open, and I think he gets it done as well, and he does. This will obviously cost them time as they're fighting together a little bit, especially that move into turn 1. And let's see if one of the guys behind now thinks maybe I can have a little sniff of this top spot on the podium. Not quite the angle we want there. So far they're keeping a single file, these top 5. Strikey is very interested in this top spot. Little lock up there by BNS. That might hamper his chance of an overtake. for P2 here. But is Strikey going to get a chance for P1 again? And I think he's going to try it. Yes, he gets it done a little bit earlier, and BNS has a little sniff as well. Vigo needs to go a little bit wide, keeps himself alive. And Strikey seems to have the lead. Let's see if Vigo's going to fight back again. He is definitely having a look. Will Strikey be able to keep it this time round? And he doesn't. And it's lead of the race, Vigo once again. Going too wide there now. Stein having a little move on BNS. And he gets the move done as well. So Stein now into P3 for that last podium position. All happening around here in the top 5 spots. Nice move so far. Very good battles, deep dives, deep braking, and we love to see it. And these guys know what they can expect of the other guys as well, so they know when to go a little bit wide and leave each other space. Very nice to see. That's the racing we love. Strikey is not quite in the position this time around. Vigo defends the inside nicely as well. Will Strikey now have a little look on this shorter DRS straight, see if he can do it here, as Vigo's been doing the last few laps. He's definitely having a look. Helicopter views going into play nicely, but Strikey doesn't quite get it done. Gets on top of the rear wing of Vigo, but not quite able to overtake. We see FCT and Seaward finish swapping position there. FCT now into P9, seem to have found the groove. Ammon and Perez are running away from the rest a little bit as well. Stewart is hanging on, obviously with the 3-second penalty. That's going to hamper him later on, possibly. His objective is going to be to stay 3 seconds ahead of the guy behind, which at the moment is FCT, who seems to be on the charge. And Stewart with a little bit of a moment there. Keeps it pointing in the right direction though. Not good for tyre wear and tyre temperature. And not the best exit, but he stays within DRS so far. And Seaward finish, having another go and overtaking FCT, saying this spot was mine, give it back. Keeps it as well. FCT, is he going to have a little look on the straight here, as Neil now gets 3 seconds as well. It's a third victim for today. FCT is having a think about it, but he stays put behind. See you at finish, and not going for the overtake right now, and maybe later. Top 5 still going as they are. Stein close to Strikey. Will he be able to do something here? Within 0.2 of a second seems to be the sort of striking distance before you go into the last corner, it seems. Obviously it helps for Strikey as well that he's got the DRS, and Stein now dropped away a little bit, and BNS might be having a little look on Stein here, and he goes to the inside and goes back behind, brakes late, very late there. Don't think he expected to go for a move there, possibly quite surprised how early Stein braked there. I'm guessing that's what it was, or maybe he just overcooked his own braking point. Had to take avoiding action, and luckily they all kept each other alive, but that could have been in the steward room later on. But it ended up being alright, just not the overtake that BNS possibly was looking for, as he ruined his chances for the next DRS sector as well. We've got a spin. Who is it? It's Seward finish that spun round from his fight with FCT. Wonder what happened there. Obviously didn't see it, so I can't judge on it, but very unfortunate for Seward finish there. And Perez spraying it safe here behind Ammon, staying tucked behind, keeping the fight for later. Vosdork with his qualifying bed now in P11 doing a decent job. Coming from the back, recovering what he can. And now 6 tenths behind on Ralphie. And looks like he's going to be closing in anytime soon now for an overtake on Ralphie here to move him up into P10. Not this lap though, but I think next lap his chance might be there to go for that overtake. Let's now have a look at Stein, the front runners here. Thought he might be having a little sneaky look in sector 2, but he saves it for the DRS straight and might not be going for an overtake. We see Brian close on Danny here. Is it because Danny overtook him again, or is Brian generally gonna have a look? Bit of a snap from Danny there. On the curb, very slippery there. Brian taking a bit of a wider line, trying to accumulate more speed. And Danny goes in, and Brian goes on, and Danny gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And that's what I said, it's a very tricky pit lane here. Let's see what Danny is doing. I think he started on the softs and he's gone on to the hards now. Let's see if others will follow. Obviously Danny was a little bit behind. Let's see if this hard tyre can bring him back into contention for some good points. Undercut generally is strong in this game. So let's see if it helps him regain a few positions rather than being stuck in traffic. Vosdork now within striking distance, and then he gets 3-second time penalty as well. On his slightly colder tyres, gone a little bit too aggressive and got a bit of a track limit warning there. Obviously after 3 you get the penalty. We see another car coming in, it's FCT. Vosdork having a look, but can't quite overtake yet. And had a look to go around the outside of turn 2, which would have been very difficult, but he does it through the inside of turn 3 and now has the DRS as well to seal the deal on the overtake with Ralphie. Ralphie straight away under attack of Neil, but he can't quite get it done yet. FCT also gone for the hard tyres a lap later than his teammate, comes out in front of him as well and should stay there for the moment. Let's see if later on there could be some possible team orders going on, because I think Danny could be slightly faster than FCT. Top guys still continuing on, nobody going for a pit yet, they're all staying in DRS. All having a look as well for a overtake, nobody gets it done yet. P&S gang on Stein there possibly. No, he tucks in behind again. And these guys are running close together. So it takes a lot of concentration and focus to stay tucked in behind your opponent this close for all these laps. 14 laps so far, but they've got another 22 to do. Very intense track, I find it, around Brazil, but they're doing a great job so far. Bit of a moment from Viggo there in the lead, but he's got a bit of a gap enough to for that not to be a problem for him. And Neil still on the back of Ralphie. Let's see if on this straight he's gonna be able to get a move done. And the leaders are now pitting. It's Viggo and Strikey starting the pit sequence for the leaders, and let's see if Stein, P&S and Josko are going to respond in the next lap. Neil still doesn't quite get the overtake done on Ralphie, it seems, but let's see yeah, Vigo onto the mediums and Strikey, sorry, I meant hard. And yeah, Strikey does the same thing as expected, really, as they both started on the mediums. And both getting out behind Ralphie there, so he could be a little bit of a roadblock. And Ralphie just been overtaken by Neil there, and he's now getting overtaken by Vigo as well. Yeah, he is, but he's trying to stay in there. But now the next corner is advantage for Vigo there, as he's being let go by his teammate as well, which could now place Ralphie in a position to overtake Neil again. Oh, and he has a bit of a moment on the curb there, went in a little bit too deep, and Stein gets a 10-second penalty. And that will definitely hamper him at the end of this race. Obviously going for hards as well, as does Josko. Stein, you've got a fan in the chat. He's saying, come on. I think he shouted a little bit too early. Gave you that 10-second penalty. We will blame it on Nico in the chat. He distracted you from braking early enough for the pit entrance. Vigo now in the theoretical lead for the race. Vigo and, Perez and BNS in front of him obviously still have to pit. And he's also got a bit of a gap, 1.5 seconds to Stein. Undercut proven very effective here so far. Will it hamper him later on though if his tyres go off before the tyres of Stein and Josko, and possibly even the ones of BNS? But already he's 16 seconds in front, and actually he's gone into the pit. I missed that, but he is. As is Perez, he's gone into the pit as well. But let's see where BNS comes out. It's in between Vigo and Strikey. Yes, it is. So effective for him. He's gotten rid of Strikey and Stein so far. So even though the undercut was effective, staying out a lap longer for BNS proven to be effective as well. Now in P2, inside the DRS of Vigo, and with 2 lap younger tyres as well, that's going to help him out later on. But let's see if it will be enough. Strikey and Stein and Josko still together as well. Will they be able to bring it back together towards BNS and Vigo, bring the fight towards them for the lead of this race? Perez, he came out in P8, I think that's pretty much where he was as well before the pit stops. And he's now within DRS of Airman. Maybe he was P7, I'm pretty sure he was in front of Airman before the pits. Actually, Port still needs to pit as well. He's out of position in P6 on his hard tyres. And wondering what he's going to do. Is he going to go onto mediums later on, I suppose? Or is he going to try for softs? One thing's for sure, shortly he's going to be a roadblock for him and Perez. If he stays on the track for much longer. FCT and Danny haven't swapped position yet. Danny doesn't quite seem to have the pace today. Maybe he doesn't like this track as much, I don't know. But he's getting challenged by Stuart Daff, Vostok and Ralphie. I think they just swapped positions. Overtake done by Vostok there. A lot of track limit penalties and some pit entry penalties as well. That's obviously gonna change the standings once everybody comes over the line. And as I'm doing that, Strikey being overtaken by Stein there on the start-finish straight. DRS assisted takeoff. Is Strikey now going to be able to fight back? not having the best of exits. Josko is thinking about a move as well, but neither of them is able to do so in the end. And it's not actually something being broken there, it's just a visual bug of the game that you hit something and breaks like a styrofoam board. Just another bug to add to the bug list of EA for this game. All these guys still running close together. Strikey doing a bit more ERS management, I think, throughout the lap. Although maybe he needs to, because the others got way more DRS than, or ERS than him. Yeah, there we go. Boards now becoming a roadblock for Airman and Pires, even giving Airman a little bit of a DRS slipstream to help him defend from Pires. He will be happy with that as long as he isn't too much of an obstacle later on in the cornery bits of Sector 2, and swapping positions all over the place again. Is Stein going to come out in front here? No, it's still Strikey. Or it's Strikey again coming out in top here. And yeah, Strikey, Stein, Josko, 3, 4 and 5 fighting for that last podium position. Emma now gone past Ports, and shortly Perez will surely do the same thing, and he needs to do it quickly, because the longer he stays behind, the more time he's going to lose to Airman, and the more difficult it's going to be to get back into his DRS and overtake him by the end of the lap, or of the race I meant to say. Surely he needs to do it here. If Ports doesn't go in, and Ports, no, he doesn't go in, he stays out. For a second I thought he was going to go in. Different lines possible here, of course, with the weird way the straight isn't a straight. The press now up to P7, chasing Airman still within DRS, so that's good news for him. And let's see if he can shortly overtake Pires. Stewart is an ex-victim for a 3-second penalty. Let's have a look what the penalties are. It's 10 seconds for Stein, that's pit entry. 13 for Danny, I reckon there will be 10 for the pit entry and 3 for track limits. Stewart already up to 9, Ralphie, Vostok, Neil and Cavolis 3, and Brian's got 6. It's not going to hamper Brian, obviously it's not going to hamper Cavolis at the moment either, as he's in last. Neil could be losing out a bit, as is Vostok. Ralphie probably not. Pinas now takes fastest lap an hour while I was sorting out the penalties. Missed change of the lead. Pinas Kang now in lead of the race, and can Viggo fight back on his DRS straight to get back into the lead? No, not quite in a position to strike. Who is in a position to strike possibly is Josko behind Strikey. Very close there, but not doing it yet. Vostok now in battle with Ralph, and Ralphie keeps it very tight, but in front so far. But Vostok now has the DRS. Ralphie forcing a long way around, but in the end he loses out to both Vostok and Neil. Ralphie now in 14th, Neil in 13th, and Vostok in 12th. But let's go back to see if Viggo can regain the lead on the DRS straight here. There is the DRS. Not a lot of ERS deployments. In fact, he goes to saving now, puts the fastest lap of the race on the board with a 109.7. It's only a second and a half slower than what he put down in. Sorry, 2.5 seconds slower than what he put down in quali. It's pretty normal actually. I thought it was only a 1.5. That would have been impressive. Not quite enough to challenge BNS for the lead this lap, but he's definitely sticking close. And let's see if Strikey can re-challenge Josko. No, Josko is just overtaken him. Ammon has been overtaken by Perez there, out of view as well. Sorry, I'm missing all the action here tonight. Let's see if Stewart can challenge Danny here. I'll keep an eye on the rest of the gaps as well, so I don't miss much more. Neil, it's all not going to be challenged here in the corners, so let's go back to this battle, see if Vigo can do it this time around. We got a spin in sector 2, only a brief yellow, so maybe gone a bit wide there, but nothing major. Ammon getting in front of Pires on the main straight. Vigo not doing the overtake on BNS. Let's see what Strikey can do. He gets the move done for Josko, so he's now back on that last step of the podium. They keep doing the switcheroos lap after lap. Shame they lost out the DRS towards Vigo and BNS. I think could have been a nice 5-way battle for the lead the whole race, but still we got some good battles going on in front. We're definitely getting closer to Danny. Danny definitely doesn't seem to be having a great day on track here today. Normally as I say that, a commentator's curse and he spins out. That's an easy overtake for Stewart. And of course, looking at that, I missed the overtake from Vigo on BNS. I assume that will have been a DRS overtake on the main straight, as we get a penalty for Stein for track limits and Port getting a 10-second for driving too fast in the pit lane, and Neil getting 10 seconds for ignoring a yellow flag. I wonder what that was. I wonder if he's going to ask to get that removed. I didn't quite see the yellow flags there. Let's see what finish. Bit slow there around turn 1. Was that the yellow flag that caused Neil to get a 10-second possibly? Don't know. If anybody is in the know, let me know in the chat what happened there. But for now, is BNS gonna get the overtake? Vigo defends the inside. BNS has it done around the outside before we get to the corner. And nice overtake by him with DRS, but Vigo straight away looking to strike back. Opens the DRS and gets the move done, I'd say. Yeah, he's right in front, got back across as well. And that's still the lead for Vigo there. Strikey, Stein and Josko still battling it out as well. In this case, Stein either defending from Josko or overtaking him. But he gets P4 for now, with Strikey still in P3. Or again, I lost track how many times these guys have swapped positions. And we got a yellow. What's going on? It's a Ferrari. Is it Danny? I think it's possibly Danny. Nightmare drive for him. With his spin earlier, possibly wrecked his tyres a little bit. Now gets a 3-second penalty on top again. Definitely a race for him to forget. Stein overtakes Strikey very early on the DRS straight. And that means Strikey is going to have a possibility to fight back on the second DRS straight. But is he going to be able to do it? He seems to be slightly too far away, but you never know with ERS and DRS deployment. And Stein puts his car slightly in the middle of the track, and it seems to be enough to defend the position for now. Still 9 laps to go, and I've got no clue in which order these 3 are going to finish. Port now, slight consolidation for him, taking fastest lap. Not even in last place anymore either, so nice recovery from him, and his strategy seems to work with the hards, and I assume he's gone to the mediums there. And he did. putting up purple first sector on the board as well there, so possibly improving again. Now launching a tricky overtake into turn 6, but he gets Fosdog with it. So a nice move by him. Seemed all fine, but it's a high risk move that, but it worked out nicely. Nice to see something else than a DRS overtake as well. Nothing against them, but it's always nicer to see it properly done on the braking. Oh, and he goes a bit deep into Neil. I wonder if that's hampered anybody for damage. Porsche doesn't seem to have damage, and I wonder if Neil has got a bit of bodywork damage there. Difficult to see. Neil seems to be fighting back. They touch again, and Neil now goes wide, and that's definitely not nice. Neil now does have wing damage, and he needs to come in, I think, because that will hamper you and your pace a lot around Brazil, being such a high downforce track. Shame for Neil, he was doing a great job really, with all these fast drivers. A bit too aggressive from Porsche there, now into P10, but that could definitely be going down a little bit in the steward's room, as BNS overtakes Vigo again on the straight. We have another spinner. What was it? I think it might have been Airman or maybe FCT. Completely missed it as well, but Perez gone in front of Airman as Stein now again swaps positions with Strikey. Apologies, I got a minor call still going on. Strikey in P4 close with Stein and Josko still. What else going on? Fosdog not quite dropping back from ports there. So the main battle's going on in the front really. And BNS seems to have opened up the gap a little bit with Vigo there. Let's see if Vigo can fight back here. Two DRS straights shortly after each other definitely help. Not sure if it's going to happen. I don't think so now. So let's go to Josko, who seems to be close to Stein. But not close enough. That graphic glitch really gets me every time. Keep thinking somebody hits or breaks something. And was that Strikey with a bit of a moment? It seemed he was coming through the field or through the camera a bit sideways there. But still facing the right way, still going on, holding the position. And Vigo now slightly closer to BNS as he was previous time round. As Brian goes into the pits, going for a 2-stop. Wonder if he had damage. And Neil, by the way, staying out with his front end plate damage. Doesn't seem to lose too many positions. Maybe he's thinking those last few laps, it's going to hurt me more to pit than it is to continue. No overtake by Vigo. Is there going to be an overtake from Strikey on Stein? No, they both had a little bit of a wobble trying to defend or attack, but neither of them goes for it in the end. And Josko still sitting behind for the moment. Nuno, Nico, Nick, if you're still in the chat, and others as well, of course, please give your prediction in what order they're going to finish. It's too close to call for me, but I'd like to see your insights here, especially the top three. It's going to be too much to put them all in. But let's hear your top three in the chat, guys. Let's see if Porsche can get Stewart as well. He should do. He's got the tire advantage. P3 swapping positions here for third place, and it's Josko coming out on top. But is he though? Because Strikey seems to be fighting back, and Stein has dropped out a little bit. But no, it's Josko for the moment. Josko in P3, Strikey now P4, Stein P5, and Porch takes Stewart in the end as well. Let's see, Nico says BNS, Vigo, then Stein. Alright. Stein has got some work to do these last 4 laps to get it done, but yeah. Especially given the fact he's got a 10-second penalty, unless you think he can get that removed. I didn't see it, so I don't know what happened there. But I think he went in a bit too fast. Difficult to call in this game though. It's gonna, at the moment, drop him back 1 place it seems. And Vigo gets BNS again. Will he now be able to hold on to it till the end of the race? BNS says, no thank you, I'll have this back. And he does, going into turn 4. So still BNS in the lead. Nick says Vigo, BNS, then Josko. Yeah, alright, that seems very plausible as well. Vigo obviously with the pole time as well. Given the gap that he had, I would have thought that he would have been an easy winner here, but the DRS and race pace just proves to be a different ball game than qualifying pace, and it's not quite an easy win for him. BNS and Vigo keeping each other on their toes and keeping each other honest as well all race so far, with just 3 laps to go now. Let's stick with him. Yeah, good thing I swapped back. Vigo gets the lead again on BNS. But this does give BNS the DRS now for the second DRS straight. Will he be able to get him back? Let's see what he does. Vigo doesn't seem to defend, and BNS stays tucked in behind. Is that a strategic call from one of them to stay behind and leave the DRS maybe for the last lap? Is that game going to be in play as well? Let's see, Strikey leading this pack of 3 for the last podium position. All 3 still staying together. Strikey seems to be doing a little bit of ERS management there. Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. It's going to be very difficult for Stein to get that podium unless he gets that penalty removed. But as we've seen from Monday's race, generally the game is correct in that penalty. BNS gets the lead again from Vigo. But is Vigo going to strike back on this lap, or is he going to save it for the next lap and get it done there? For now he stays stuck behind and stays in second place. God knows if that's the correct decision or not, but we'll find out in about a minute and a half or so. Slightly more actually. Strike is still leading this pack for the third podium spot. Stein in second, or in, well, second in this battle, but 4th overall. With the penalty as it is, he would drop back to behind Perez. So that would make him 6th, unfortunately, so lose 2 positions as it stands. And Vigo overtook BNS for the lead of the race going into the last lap. Let's stay with this battle now as it is the last lap. See who stays or gets on top after this DRS and who comes over the line first. BNS opens his DRS, he's going for it. Vigo pushes him around the outside though. Bit wide by BNS there. He will say that's forced. Not sure if that's correct or not, didn't quite get the angle, but for now BNS stays on top. Josko, Stein and Strikey switching positions as well. Stein coming out on top at the moment. But Josko gets it back and Stein DNFs. Oh no, he spun out just after turn 5. What a shame to crash out on the last lap like that. I didn't see what happened there. Stein, if you're in chat, let me know what happened there. And Viggo onto the last straight now. Will BNS be able to get him in this drag race towards the line? I think he's a bit too far back, both deploying ERS like mad, and it's Viggo taking the lead, BNS in second. And Josko seems to be taking third, but is Strikey going to win this drag race to the line, or is it going to be Josko? It's going to be very close. And it's Strikey in the end, taking it from Josko, 12 thousandths of a second. P5 for Perez, nice race by him as well. Ammon coming up, and he takes P6. Ports, a bit of a time penalty there, I think it was 13 seconds, so for now it's P7, but could possibly be lower. Stewart, is he going to take P7 away from Ports? No, he isn't, but Vosdok is taking P8. It's all changing now. Stewart finish takes 7, Ralphie 8, Ports 9, FCT 10, Vosdok 11, Stewart 12, Neil 13th. As we wait for the podium ceremony and all that before I can see the rest. Ports being given the driver of the day as he fought back. I wonder if he's going to drop down a little bit more for that incident he had with Neil. Other than that, he did drive a very good race, apart from his spin as well, of course. At the beginning of the race, not quite had the hearts fired up the way he expected them to be. McLaren very happy with the top star here by Viggo. Alright, so we had Neil in 13th, Danny in 14th, Stein in 15th with his DNF, unfortunately. Cavolis and Brian on a lap, with Brian in the end taking the fastest lap. I missed that completely, but a 109.5 in the end, the fastest lap of the race. Brian takes P17, closes the grid. Great race there, guys. Last race of the year, as I mentioned, and we are back for more racing in ERL in the new year. 4th of January we got the GT7 sprint racing. 5th is the GT7 GT Class and GT Pro doing their main races. And then on the 6th we continue with Purple Sector Tier doing what Cooking Tier did tonight, a race around Brazil. And then on the Wednesday after, it's Cooking Tier, continuing on in the new year with their race. And I forgot to look which race they'll be at. So let me just quickly look that up, if you've got the patience for that. And that will be the Belgium Grand Prix in Spa. That's going to be on the 8th of January. So thanks all that watched this year to ERL. Thank you very much for liking, subscribing, commenting, supporting the drivers. As Nick said, very nice race. So thank you everybody. See you in the new year. Happy New Year, happy Merry Christmas, and happy holidays for those that celebrate something different. And thank you all for watching. See you next time in the new year.